Howdy folks, welcome to another episode of Supa Hamsta Plays Kingdom Death Monster. As ever, do me a favour, hit the thumbs up button on this video, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well, so you don't miss out on this series, future episodes, and other series on my channel. And of course, it helps me take over YouTube, one subscriber at a time. So, in the last episode, we hunted level 2 Antelope with this group of 4 here. That's Vola, who's at the far end. It's Gary, formerly George. Then it's Fiona here with the bow, and Astrid in the lion getup. I've set up its AI decks. That's over here. You always get the Acacia plants and the bug patch, and I've dealt out 2 random ones which just so happen to be the same 2 as last time. So we've got debris there, and we've got the stone head, the giant stone face there. I've zoomed in a bit this time so you can't see much of the character sheets and the cards off to the side over that way. I thought I'd give that a try for this episode. Feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know if you think it's better or worse or no different. These would generally be off to the side, but that is the standard Screaming Antelope generic card to remind me of its stats. And if we get there, greys. And the level 2 has the trample ability, which also the level 1 had, which basically means whenever it collides, you suffer damage equal to the monster's level. Whereas normally you just get knocked out of the way. And it has Diabolical, which means at the end of a monster's turn, target a random survivor in the trample zone. And the trample zone is basically 2. It's the orthogonal directions off of its base. So target a random survivor in the trample zone, full move through the target, move the monster through and past the survivor. If there is no target, full move forward. So basically he's going to be running around like a lunatic, which is going to make him quite difficult to catch, but we'll see where we go from there. So Vola has her magic rock. That's still taking up a bit of space here. Gary's picked up an evasion, a -1 evasion token, as has Astrid. Before we get started, what did I need to do? Fiona can play her harp, meaning that everybody can gain 1 survival point. Everybody is maxed out except for Astrid, who lost all of hers. I can't remember what the event was, but she was down to 1, so she's back up to 2. And that's where we are. Right. Let's get going. Turn 1. Oh, no, there is something else. I totally forgot. We encountered some refugees, did we not, on the hunt? Which means we can take this AI deck and we can look at the top 5 cards and put them back in any order we so choose. So we have 1, 2, 3, it's actually a double there, stuck, and 5. Right. Great kick. Randomly pick a survivor in the blind spot. Furthest threat in the field of view that's in range. So that would be nothing. So it's just going to graze. And of course, grazing, in case you can't remember, the monster makes a full move towards the closest Acanthus plant and ends its turn. If the monster is on or adjacent to an Acanthus plant, heal 1 wound and archive the terrain. If there are no Acanthus plants, instead full move forward in a straight line. So that would be a good one to get out of the way because it's not going to do anything. Although it doesn't say anything about graze ending its turn. Let me just check the rule book. I believe that's instead of I'm going to double check the rules, but I think when it goes to its instinctive behaviour, that's instead of. But we'll check that in a second. Stomp and snort. Random survivor in range. No target. When it grazes, it would intimidate the target. Is there anything in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Right, there is nothing in range, which is good to know. So that would also graze. Chow down. If there is an acanthus plant on the showdown board, discard chow down and perform basic action. Otherwise, full move the screaming antelope to the closest acanthus plant. If the monster ends its move on or adjacent to an acanthus plant, it consumes it, the terrain, and performs a heal of D5 wounds. Place the chow down on top of the monster AI deck instead of discarding it. So we don't want that. Although if it's on the top, then it's just going to keep doing that, because it says place it back on the AI deck. So it's just going to wander around and eat all the acanthus, which wouldn't be a bad thing, because it would get all its healing out of the way before it's taken any wounds. So that might actually be worth doing, and it would give us time to get in position and search the debris and come around and search the bug hole. And slam. Closest knockdown survivor. There isn't anybody. Furthest threat in field of view and in range. No target graze. Pick a target in its blind spot, otherwise a threat in range. So all of these things, at the moment, it's going to cause it to trigger its instinct. So before we go any further, I am going to double check whether or not that triggers its basic action and then it carries on, or whether that's its turn. Okay, I can't actually find that rule. However, if it's doing its graze action, it hasn't picked a target. And since the next bit would be move towards its target and attack, or attack its target, or whatever, it won't move because it has no target. So that kind of answers that one for us. So I'm thinking we want to get through these. So I'm thinking we want to put this on the top. If nothing else, it means when we hit it, we'll be discarding that one fairly early on. So although that great kick hurts. Let's go with that. Yeah, so we'll go with That's knocked down. Stomp and snort. That's the insane one. So yeah, so we want to go chow down, then great kick, and somehow I've managed to pick up 6. So yeah, we'll get rid of. We'll put that one and just shuffle. I'm guessing there were a couple more cards that were stuck together, not having gone through this deck much. Right, so we have, where was it? Chow down on the top, then great kick, then back kick, then slam, and then stomp and snort. Right, so we're all set up. Monsters turn 1. What could it be? It's chow down. If there are no acanthus plants on the area, discard chow down and perform the basic action. Full move the screaming antelope to the closest acanthus plant. They are all the same distance. If the monster ends its move on or adjacent to it, it consumes it. Archive the terrain and perform D5 heals. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yep, it'll then eat that one. Heal, place Showdown back on top of the AI deck. What could happen next turn? Right. Let's have a look at this debris. Nobody has a scavenger kit, so it doesn't make any difference who does it. That would knock them down. That would gain a reason. Bone blade, scrap sword. Okay, so there is nothing on there that's going to be negative, so we may as well have Astrid do it. So let's roll a d10 for her. 6. You find useful remains. Gain 1 basic resource, which I just happen to have here. And it is a broken lantern. So we'll add that, yeah, to there. And then she can move, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Because she's got +1 movement from the White Lion boots. Fiona will... Oh, and we discard that one. Goodbye, debris. 1, 2, 3, 4. And climb up. That's 5. So she is now in range. Though not in range for her bow, which has a range of 6, but being up there it would be 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So she needs to be another bit closer. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and running up. You know what? No, we're okay. That's fine. Alright, so that is our turn done. Showdown. The nearest one would be that one. Munchy, 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 munchy. And I've forgotten something. I have. It's not going to make a huge difference. We'll do it from now on. I forgot the diabolical move. So yeah, let's put that one back. So it was there. You were there, and in its diabolical move, there is no one in its trample zone, so it would just charge off full speed. We then took our turn, so it's back to it, and it's chowing down, so it wants to move to its nearest acantha plant. It has a movement, a level 2 one. I don't think we actually went through this. A level 2. Will that focus? A level 2 Antelope has a movement of 8, a toughness of 10, +1 speed, +1 damage. It has 10 of the basic AI cards and 5 of the advanced. There's a movement of 8. Can it get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? And it's not adjacent. So I'll go there, and it's still not adjacent. And there's nothing in its arc, so it runs off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Running around like a lunatic. Back to the humans, the survivors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can we... Let's actually have a look at the acanthus. Roll a d10. If you have a sickle, you can roll another one and add them together. So on a 5 or more, yeah, we'll do that. A 1 or a 2 is going to cost us a point of arm damage. 3 or 4 is nothing. 5 to 7 will gain a point of survival. and 8 or more will gain a fresh acanthus resource. We take a point of damage. As a result, archive this terrain. So, point of arm damage. Knocks her down to 1 armor. Was it Fiona or Gary? I think it was Fiona was lashing out on the Walk of Madness. Or the Walk of the Doomed, I can't remember which it was. She was lashing out and hit Astrid in the arm. Move up to there. We shall attempt to eat that one. Or eat 2. So Gary's going to take a point of damage in the arm as well. Obviously something in these plants. Not as tasty as we thought. It's going to run up to there, so... 1, 2, 3. We'll have a go on that one as well. 3. You find nothing, archive this terrain. And that's us done. AI deck. What could it be? It's Showdown. So it will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it will then yum 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 eat its acanthus. And from there, there's no threat in its trample range, so it'll just move its 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. And it goes back on the AI deck. Just working this one out. She can hit, do her thing. She can shoot with the bow. Although I'm thinking after we hit, we'll want to move so that we're not in the trample range. Spear can run up to here and stab. That's in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She can get there but won't be able to hit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means we'll probably run over there and take out the last acanthus plant. Yeah. So we have a plan. First person to go is going to be our archer, Fiona, who is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because she's on the elevated position. So she's going to use the clawhead arrow, which normally hits on a 6. She has +1 accuracy, so it will hit on a 5. And with the +2 to hit, it'll be hitting on a 3. It hits! Hurrah! So, if hit, the monster will gain -1 evasion token for the rest of the showdown. And here are my tokens. Evasion. Put that one there to remind us. And of course it was a hit with a strength of 6, so first hit location. -2 toughness to this location. Normally it's toughness 10. That drops it to an 8. It's strength 6, so 2 or more. It's a wound. If you wound, blood and spittle erupt from the screaming antelopes wounded under more. If the wound roll result is even, it is not, suffer 1 brain damage. If the result is odd, gain 1 insanity. So, Showdown is gone. And Fiona gains a point of insanity. Obviously delighting in piercing this thing's tongue. Next up, let's go with our guitar-wielding lunatic. And what have we got? We've got 2 guitars giving us 4 attacks. That's when pouncing, that's when pouncing. So yeah, it's just 4 attacks. And she doesn't have any bonuses. Well, she has +1 strength, -1 strength, but hitting on 7s. 3 hits. Hit location 1. The Restless Ear. If you hit with a club or a shield, you clobber the monster and gain +2 luck when attempting to wound this location. No. Can we get a critical? Which would be a 9 because the guitars are lucky. No. 6. What was the strength I said? 3. So it takes it to a 9. Doesn't wound. That's 1. Second one. The Restless Back. If you hit with a club or a shield. We are not. 5, 6, 7, 8. Doesn't wound. And the last one. The Restless Shoulder. 7, 8, 9, 10. That one wounds. So discard the top AI card. Your blow clips the screaming antelope's shoulder and it jumps back. Turn to face the attacker, then without moving, move the monster 1 space directly away from the attacker. Cancel all hits now out of range. Right. Hit location cards, aren't they? Yes. Okay. And now we can move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want to stand in this thing's trample zone. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, the spear now can't get there, which changes things. Right, we'll back up. We'll go an extra space, just to be safe. The spear is going to move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll carry on with that, going through the acanthus plant. 10. Gain 1 fresh acanthus resource, which I do not have on me, so we'll just have to write that down. Actually, no, I'll forget. So I'm going to pause the video, I'll dig the card out, and then we'll have it, just in case it's something we can actually use in this fight. Okay, there is fresh acanthus. It is indeed something we can use in this encounter. And that's all the acanthus. We can take that off the board as well. The acanthus reads, Herb, archive this to fully heal 1 hit location, including all injury levels and armor points. And that's Vola that's got that one. She doesn't have a huge amount of armor, but could be useful later in the game, so we'll remember that one. And that would be everybody's turn. Yes, it would. So, monster turn. Back kick. Target in its blind spot. Nothing. closest threat in range. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it could be either. And it will move and then attack them. Well, let's have it go 1, 2. Do you want it to go there? Well, it's going to anyway, isn't it? So we may as well. Yeah, it's as good as any. Right. So it has a speed of 1. And it's a level 2 monster, so it gets +1. And turn monster, so target is in its blind spot. Okay, so it turns that way, and then it's going to back kick. Right, so 2 attacks. Normally hitting on 3s, but Gary has 2 evasion from that one. Let's go back. No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So we'll be hitting on 3s, 4s, 5s. 1 hit, 1 miss. And I'm going to spend a point of survival to ignore that hit, because it's doing 3 damage. So, and Gary has a suit of rawhide armor, so on a 6+, he'll gain that back. Nope. So he does spend it, dropping him back down to 3. And then diabolical triggers. At the end of the monster's turn, target a random survivor in the trample zone. There is only 1. Full move through the target, move the monster through, past survivor. If there is no target, move forward. So random survival will be 1 to 10. It's Gary. It's Gary. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And trample does what? When a monster collides with a survivor, they suffer damage equal to the monster's level in its random hit location. So it'll be a level 2, hitting Gary in the hand. So that wipes out his armor and gives him a light injury. And back to the humans' turn. I keep calling them humans, they're survivors, not humans. Right, let's start with, what's the range on our archer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which with the extra range is in range. So her bow gives her 2 shots, normally hitting on a 7, but now hitting on a 5. Would actually be a 4 because we've got the -1 evasion, but it's still just the 1 hit, which hits its furry tail, and the bow is strength 3. There was a 3 there on the hit, wasn't there, which becomes a 4, and she's got +1 accuracy, becomes a 5, which turned it into a hit. So there's actually 2 hits. Yes, forgot she's got +1 accuracy. With the +2 from the range ground, +1 from her stats, and the -1 evasion, that's effectively +4. And she needed a 7. She had a 3. It's a 7. So 2 hits. Anyway, furry tail. Can she wound? She cannot. Second hit. The wailing slide. 'Tis a trap. Oh, good job that hit, actually. Get that one out of the way. The screaming antelope panics. Its undermouth unleashes an inhuman wail. It bucks wildly and leaps into the air. The attacker is doomed. All survivors adjacent to the monster suffer 2 brain damage. Nobody. And knockback 5 and are knocked down. The monster lands on its belly and begins to slide on its teeth. Turn the monster directly away from the attacker and full move in a straight line. On a collision, non-death survivors gain 1 random disorder. In addition to the survival rule, the normal collision rules. But directly away effectively is straight, so it's just going to go. And then we shuffle all this back into the hit location deck. Right, well, that changes things, because now nobody's in range. And there's no acanthus. So, what is it going to do? Well, chances are it's going to move towards us. So, really, we just want to get out of its way and wait till it wanders back down this end. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does anybody have any weird rules they can use? That's Vola. Vola has the Rawhide Headband, so she can reveal the top 2 AI cards and place them back in any order. Well, we already know what they are, so there's no point doing that. So yeah, so we'll ignore that one. Gary wants to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can get there. So he's going to go to there, because then he can still poke it with its stick. And we'll come up here and we will investigate the bug patch. Roll a d10. Adding 1 if you have scavenger kit, which I don't, so we'll just roll a d10. 7. Gain 1 random vermin and archive this terrain. So that's all the terrain eaten. And we'll gain a vermin. I'll dig that deck out now. Right, so the vermin deck. Let's gain a vermin. A nightmare tick. It's vermin, it's consumable. Consume. Archive this card and roll a d10 if we choose to. On a 1 to 3, the tick grabs the roof of your mouth, sucks all your blood, you die. 4 to 5, tastes like iron, no effect. 6 or more, gain a permanent +1 evasion. Okay, Astrid. You can keep that for later. Oh, and that was an AI kick that it did earlier. That's us done. Monster's turn. Schlam. Pick the target as the closest knockdown survivor. There aren't any. The furthest threat in field of view and in range. There aren't any. Otherwise, graze. Right. What does graze do when there are no acanthus? Full move to the closest acanthus ends its turn. If the monster is adjacent to acanthus, if there are no acanthus on the board, full move forward in a straight line. So it can't. And then it will do its diabolical move, which will move it in a straight line, straight ahead. It can't go anywhere. So we'll skip that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If it's out of range of the bow, it's out of range of everything else. We really just want to sit here and wait for it to come to us. So I think that's what we're going to do. Its turn. Random survivor in range. There aren't any. Pick a target. Graze. There aren't any. Oh, this is an intimidate. So it could get us. Because we're in range of the attack. I'm just going to check that that's not in range of movement, but range of attack, which logically it would be for this one, because it's just shouting and snorting and stuff. It's not actually physically got to get in contact. So I'm going to pause the video and look this one up, and I'll bring you back in a mo. Okay, I've checked the ruling, and yes, in range is within a distance equal to its current movement stat. So it does have to be able to physically reach us in order to attack. So that one has no target, it will just graze, which in this case is just it trying to run against the wall. Okay, so this created something of a cycle. Because if it's only ever going to attack things in range and we're not in range, then it's just going to stare there and bang its head against an invisible wall, which makes for a dull game. So I thought, well, I could go and get it, but we're in an advantageous spot. It's, you know, we've set out this nice trap, we want to lure it in, we're waiting for it to come to us. So I have had a quick look through the AI deck, just looking at the target rules and looking for certain keywords. And there are some in there that don't require being in range. So I've shuffled the AI deck. I still don't know what the attacks are. I just literally looked at, is there anything that doesn't say in range? And there's 2, I think, in there. Might have been 3. So basically, the survivors here are just going to wait. They're just going to sit here and wait until that antelope decides to come back. So let's have a look at the first one. Random survivor in range, otherwise graze. So it's not doing that. We do nothing. This is one of the ones. Furthest threat in range. There isn't one. Furthest survivor, full stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 11, 10, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these 2 are the furthest. And I'm thinking we're going to go for bowler. And it's got a move of 8. So 1. And basically it says move and attack target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, 8. That's awkward, because now it's going to charge through and hit her, which draws everybody out. So where can we get it that's useful? Although Fiona's got survival, so she could move out of the way, but I don't want it charging over that way. So if I move it so that it's near, or it's in range of Astrid, and she'll just have to get out of the way. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, so it's done its move. There's nothing to attack, so it's done with that. And before it does its diabolical move, I'm going to spend a point of survival to get a free move action. I know it's going to charge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to be here. So I want to be there so that I can then pounce and stab. So there you go. We'll just step aside. That's all we're going to do. And that will cost us, pardon me, 1 point of survival. And then it charges and slams into this wall. And now we're back to the survivor's turn. Right, let's start off with that pounce. So we've got to spend our movement and our attack, and then we can go 1, 2, 3 in a straight line, and we can then attack. And when pouncing, where are my rules for pouncing? We're gaining +1 accuracy, we're gaining +1 strength, armor. Strength line moves 3 spaces with weapon. Gain 1 strength. So yeah, +1 strength, +1 accuracy. So 4 attacks. Oh, I knew there was another one. The White Lion armor. The weapons are clawed, gain 1 speed and 2 strength when attacking with daggers or katars, which I'd forgotten about earlier. Oh well. And that would be 5 attacks. Normally hitting on 7s, but now hitting on 6s. With +3 to the strength, so there'll be strength 6. So yeah, +1 to hit, so hitting on 6s, which is now 5s because of the evasion. 2 hits. Not great. First one. Hit it in the flank. The monster turns to face the attack. Okay, could be worse. Right. Can we hit it? Or wound it, rather. Yes, and it's a critical because katars are lucky. So we ignore the reflex. We gain 1 screaming antelope resource, which I have here. We have gained a bone, which will add to our tick. Blood runs down the screaming antelope's side. The blood loss weakens the monster. It gains -1 toughness. -1 toughness. And it takes a wound, and then our second one. In the palate, we don't want to fail this one, so it's now toughness 9, and I'm adding 6 to it, so we need 3s. That'll do it. Nothing critical, so it just loses an AI. Okay. Our spear personage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can stab a bit in the sides. Right, the spear has 2 attacks. No bonuses to hit. So the spear hits on a 6 +1 for that, for the evasion. So now hitting on 5s. 2 hits. First hit. The inner thigh. Right, what did I say the strength was? Strength 3. And he's strength 1. So adding 4 to it, adding 5 to it. I need 5s to wound. It is indeed wounded. Your attack disables the monster's powerful running muscles, and the antelope gains -1 movement. So it loses an AI, and it gains -1 movement. Second hit. In the giant teeth. Super dense. If it was frail, the spear is not, but it's good to know because Vola has a bone sword that is. Can we wound it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, failed. Tidy that up a little bit. But that's that one. Gary's still got 3 survival. I'm going to spend a point of survival and attack again. So does he gain the point of survival back on a 6+ because of his rawhide armor? He does not. So he goes down to 2. And then we have 2 attacks, which were hitting on 5s. They were hitting on 5s. 1 hit, 1 miss. And it is the giant mouth. If attacking with a melee weapon and the wound roll for this location is 1 or a 2, the monster consumes your weapon. Archive the gear and cancel the attack. If attacking with fist and tooth, suffer dismembered severe arm injury. Right. So it's going to do that anyway, so we need to roll to hit. And it was strength 3, 4, 5. So we need a 5 to wound it. Yes, critical. Gain 1 screaming antelope resource. Gained another bone. And that was Gary that's gained that one. And it is a persistent injury, vomit blood. Whenever the monster collides with a survivor, they are drenched in blood and gain D10 insanity. Okay. And did I remove an AI card for that? I did not. So goodbye AI card. And that's Gary's turn done. Vola. Vola's got +2 accuracy. She's pretty accurate. So I'm thinking I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's in the blind spot. So she's going to have 2 attacks. They will be hitting on normally 6s. Blind spot takes it to 5 to 4. Her accuracy takes it to 3 to 2. And the evasion takes it to 1. So anything other than a 1 is going to be a hit. 2 hits. First one. The Restless Shank. Roll a d10 for each survivor currently in the monster's blind spot. So that is just her. On a result of a 3+, they are brutally back-kicked and suffer 3 damage to a random location and 5 knockback. But will we wound? 4, 5, 6, 7. We did not wound, so it's not bothered. And then the second hit, the Restless Hoof. If attacking with a melee weapon, it is kicked out of reach by the screaming antelope's thrashing hooves. Spend an action to retrieve your lost weapon before it can be used again. If fighting with fist and tooth, you suffer the dislocated shoulder instead. Well, let's roll for wound, see what happens. 3. It's a failure. Alright. I'm going to spend the action or an action point to get, or spend a survival point to get another action to spend to recover my weapon. Do I gain that back because of rawhide armor? 6+? Yes. So gain 1 or lose 1, gain 1. And do I want to move out of the way? Yeah, I don't like being in its blind spot. It does too many of those kicks. Although if I'm going to do, I could do that with a move afterwards. So yeah, we're going to stay put, I think. Which will make. Oh, and then we've got our archer. What do we do with our archer? She has 4 wounds. Sorry, 4 survival. So we'll do a move first. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're now in range. So if she spends a point of survival, she can gain another movement action, which she'll then combine with her normal activation to be able to shoot, hitting on 7s. 1 hit. Oh, I need to get rid of those. They're the old ones. And the Restless Eye. First strike. First strike. You must select this first. What? Restless Eye. The screaming antelope's massive eyes glisten with human-like fear. If the attacker is insane, very much, cancel all hits and end their attack. Otherwise, the attacker suffers 1 brain damage. So it just cancels the effect. Cancel all the hits and end their attack. Okay. That's an unusual one. And that's the the end of the human's turn, so we'll get on with the Antelope's turn. Next AI card. Buck. At the start of each oh, it's a mood. At the start of each monster turn, target any attacker in its blind spot, and it will do 1 attack, hitting on a 3 with 1 damage. So we'll remember that one. So mood at the start of each. So we put that into play. So does it attack its blind spot now? I don't know. I'm going to have to look up moods now. Okay, so mood cards. You don't immediately put them in as moods. Basically, you carry out the whole card, and then it stays in play with its ongoing effect. So basically, it's now going to attack anything in its blind spot, which of course is Vola, and it's going to be a speed 1, although it'll be speed 2, and it'll be doing 2 damage. So I'm going to spend, before that triggers, I'm going to spend a point of survival with Vola to move out of the way. So now there's nothing in its blind spot. Does she get it back on a 6+? No. So Vola is down to 3. And it now has its thing in play. So we've got to remember that for the next time. And of course, this is now it doing its diabolical. Is there anybody in its before that happens, whilst we're still doing that, Astrid is also going to spend a point of survival, dropping her to 0, and is going to move to there. Yeah. So there's nobody in its crosshairs, so it just charges forward, which bangs up against this wall. Terrible shame. Back to us. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In range, can stab, can pounce and do the multiple stab, and then can run in. So that's the plan. And I think we'll start with the pounce. 1, 2, 3. So that will be 5 attacks. And it was what, +1 accuracy? So hitting on 6s. Right, 5 attacks. Ooh. -1 evasion, so I'm actually hitting on 5s, so that's 4. Oh, that was, for a minute there, I was like, really? 5 attacks, only hit with 1? Okay, so we've got 4 hits, and those hits are a restless ear. If you hit with a club or a shield, I am not. So we'll just roll to wound. And that is strength 3, strength 4, strength 5, strength 6. And -1 toughness, so effectively strength 7, so these will be 3s for a wound. 9, that would be a critical. Persistent injury, dazed. If the monster would draw an AI card, roll a d10. On a result of 8 or more, it's confused and will move full move forward in a straight line instead. And that's a wound. So that's 1. Need to know what it is first. The wrestler's back. Not a critical. If you win with a club there, just a wound. AI. Third one. The wrestler's shoulder. Can we wound? Yes. Your blow clips the screaming antelope's shoulder and it jumps back. Turn to face the attacker without turn to face the attacker, then without turning, Move 1 space directly away. Cancel all hits now out of range. Okay, so the 4th one misses, but we still got that one. So, not all bad. And I'm going to have to pause this and go back because I can't remember if I moved an AI card over for that one. Hang on a sec. The advantage of instant replay. And the instant replay says, we did not. So it can lose its last 3 AI cards. All it's got is the discard pile, which has 5 cards in it. So we've taken 2/3 of its wounds down. I can live with this. Right, so Astrid has done her thing and is now out of range. Back to Gary. Gary and his King Spear. Let's go to there. And then stab with his spear, of which he gets 2 attacks. Hitting on 6s, the evasion gives him a 5. So 2 attacks hitting on 5s. Both hit. Hit number 1. Hitting in the rump. Turn the monster to face away from the attacker and full move forward in a straight line. Cancel all hits now out of range. Oh well, what a shame, because that would be this way. But we've wounded. It's not a critical because he's not lucky, so it is just a wound. So it turns that way and tries to run away, but can't. And now I'm going to have to shuffle the AI cards, put them back into the deck, and discard that one. And his second hit. The Restless Chest. Can we wound? Oh, yes. So get rid of another AI card before I forget. Turn Screaming Antelope to face the attacker and full move forward in a straight line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Vola certainly hasn't gone. I can't remember if I've gone with the archer this turn. No, I started with the guitars because I wanted to pounce. So we may as well do the archer next, which is going to be just a regular shot, or 2 shots, hitting on, where are we, hitting on 7s, evasion, drops it to a 6, and she's got an accuracy hitting on 5s. 1 hit, 1 miss. Hitting in the throat. 5, strength 8 with the bow, and a 9 with the toughness. Doesn't do it, and I just forgot it's -1 move, so it's actually there. But no wound. Right, Vola. 1, 2, 3, 4, because that is at the start of its turn. Right, so she's going to get 2 attacks, which, if I remember from everything before, are hitting on anything but a 1. 1 hit, 1 miss. Delicate Inverted Knee. Right, if you hit with a club or a shield, no. Can she wound? 6. Where's the sword? 6, 7, 8. 9. No, she cannot. I'm going to spend a point of survival and try and get 2 more attacks. Does she get it back? She does not. So hitting again, anything but 1. Restless Tiny Hands. Grasping Tiny Hands make rude gestures. Well, that's if we miss, or if we fail. So what do we need to roll? 2, 3. So we need 7s. sevens. No. Grasping tiny hands make rude gestures at you. Startled, you gain 1 insanity and lose your composure. So she'll gain an insanity, which takes her to 2, and lose your composure. You must spend 1 action to regain your senses before you can attack again. Okay, well, I'm going to spend another point of survival to move. Do I get it back? No. So she's down to 1. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get out of the way. Let me just double check that one. Must spend an action to regain your senses before you can attack again. It doesn't say cancel all attacks already made, like the ones where you're moving out of range and things. So I would assume the second one would still hit. And it's the giant tongue. -2 toughness. So this will be on a 5. Yes. So it's a wound. So goodbye AI card. Blood and spittle erupt from the screaming antelope's wounded undermaw. If the wound roll is even, it was, suffer 1 brain damage. So 1 brain damage, which will take that insanity point away again, dropping her back to 1. And then she spends the survival, which we've already done, and moves out of the way. Screaming Antelope's turn. Nobody is in the rear arc. It doesn't do that. But it does have its Restless Ear critical wound. So on before I draw an AI card on an 8+, it just wanders off forwards. It does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So and she can spend her action to regain that one, regain her composure, and our harpist is going to strum her harp, which I've been forgetting she's got. On a 6+, we can get rid of a mood. Yes. Goodbye, Buck. So we have 2 AI cards left. I'm also going to use, we'll go with Gary's. Yeah, Gary's one, to look at those 2 cards and to place them back in any order. So let's see what we've got. Mostly it's just so we know what we've got left to deal with. We've got a back kick and a slam. Closest knockdown survivor, furthest threat in field of view, otherwise graze. In blind spot in range, none. Closest threat in range, so that's the one that's going to bring them towards us, otherwise graze. So I'm thinking closest threat in range can get there. Do we have any destroyed hooves? We do not, so that would be unfortunate for Fiona to take a kick, although she could move out of the way because she's got that, so it doesn't actually matter. So yeah, we'll put the bad kick on the top. It's Beastie's turn. It's still dazed and confused. Nope, regains its senses. So we draw. What could it be? A back kick. Pick a target in blind spot. There isn't one. Closest threat in range. That would be Fiona here. And then turn to face the target. Move and attack target, and then turn monster. So target is in its blind spot. Before it does that, Fiona's going to spend a point of survival and run away. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can get to there. So she wants to run to here. And it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to get it there. So we've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. And then it will do its move, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's got one more move, and it can't get to it either way. So we'll just keep it coming in a straight line. Yeah. It can't turn to put her in the blind spot. But it's now going to do... Actually, let's have it go to there. And then turn and face her. Now it's going to do the tramply thing with somebody in the way, but before it does that, Gary is going to spend a point of survival to gain a move action. Does he get it back? He does, so loses it, goes back up to 2, and he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this thing will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. End of its turn. Survivor's turn. Right, what can we do? Well, we'll start off with Gary and his spear. So he's going to get 2 attacks, hitting on 5s because of the evasion. Both miss. Going to spend a point of survival. Do I get it back? No. So we drop to survival. Where did I put the pencil? To survival 1. But we get to attack again. 1 hit, 1 miss. In the muzzle. If you hit with a club or shield, we don't. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? Yeah, he's not gaining anything. So 3, 4, 5, 9. It's not enough. Curse your level 2-ness. Let's shoot with a bow. 2 shots hitting on 6s, hitting on 5s because of the accuracy. 1 hit, 1 miss. In the gnarled horns. We don't want a failure. It is a failure. If the attacker is adjacent to the monster, their weapon is stuck. Tugging frantically, it comes loose, but you stumble and suffer knockback. We're not adjacent. Doesn't matter. Right. What can we do with these last 2? She can get there, but she can't attack, and she's only got 1 survival left. Astrid doesn't have any, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She can get there. I'm just wondering about this tick, because we're getting near the end of the fight, so if I'm going to do it, I figure I need to do it now. How good is Astrid? She's not amazing. I mean, she's got the shattered jaw and the gaping chest wound, which is... She's got a shattered jaw. She can't consume, can she? So that answers that one. So we'll just charge up and stab. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 attacks. 3 hits. Yeah, she normally needs 7, so 3 hits it is. Fairy Tale. Can we wound? Where are we on the strength? Strength 3. Toughness -1, so it's effectively strength 4. So we're needing 6s. And that's lucky. So critical wound. Not that one, this one. Gain 1 Screaming Antelope resource. We gain some muscly gums. The Screaming Antelope is off balance and gains a -1 accuracy token. And you lose an AI card. So that's 1. Wailing Slide. I was waiting for that. Right. The Screaming Antelope panics. Its undermouth unleashes an inhuman wail, bucks wildly and leaps into the air. The attacker is doomed. All survivors adjacent to the monster suffer 2 brain damage per monster level and knockback 5. So it's going to take 4 damage because it's a level 2 and she only has 1 point of insanity. So that's 0. And then she's got 1 to get through. So that's brain trauma. The monster then lands on its belly, begins to slide on its teeth. Turn the monster directly away from the attacker and full move in a straight line. Anybody it collides with takes a hit. But it won't hit with anybody because it's just going to slide. 1. Sorry, can't see the things there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we have a brain trauma to roll. 7. Lunacy. Gain a random disorder and D5 insanity. So we gain 3 insanity and a disorder. And wouldn't you know it, I've now got to go and dig out the disorder deck. Right, what have we got? Monster Panic. Monsters make you feel bad, really, really bad. Whenever you suffer brain damage for an intimidate action, suffer 1 additional brain damage. Disorder monster. Pardon me. Panic. Intimidate equals +1 damage. And it was knockback 5, wasn't it? And knockdown. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and knockdown. Right. Stabby, stabby. No, it was just pokey, pokey, wasn't it? Wasn't it? No, we did the stabby, stabby, and we've done shooty, shooty. So we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and we need to shuffle all these back in. Right. Monster's turn. Can it draw its card, or is it just being a numpty? Waddle, 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 bang its head against the wall. Human, and stands up. One, two, three. When it moves forward in a straight line, it still attacks from the diabolical. the end of its move, turn to target a random survivor in the trample zone. So it will just turn and then charge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But can't get there. Right, now it's our turn. Well, then we stand out and then our turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, and climb up. Two, 3, 4, 5. So she can run. But we'll leave a gap. Move to there and stabby stabby. 2 attacks, hitting on 5s. 1 hit, 1 miss. Ferocious Spasm. It won't hit them, so that's fine. Can we wound it? So we're 3, we're at 4. We need 6. 6? Yeah. 6. It's a wound. Uses its last AI card. And its reflex action. The Antelope frantically attacks everything around it. The zone of death is the 2 adjacent on each side. So nobody, but just so you know, 1 at a time, target each survivor in the zone of death to perform its basic action. And that is our turn. Monster's turn. Start of its thing, we got rid of that with the mood. Can it draw its AI card? It won't do that. It just does its basic action, which is, where is it? Up here. And it is closest knockdown survivor in range, no target, graze. So graze is just move forward in a straight line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's diabolical, means it will then just charge another 7 and stop there. And that's all it's going to do, isn't it? Because it's just going to do that every turn. So as long as nobody's knocked down, which we're not, it's not going to do anything other than graze, and grazing is just walking forward, so it's just going to stand there until we kill it. So, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can get the next turn. And its turn. Graze moves forward, diabolical thing moves forward, back to our turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, 3. Yeah, so we can leap into its blind spot next turn. Its turn just stumbles around, banging its head against the wall. And it's now us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So out of range. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off we go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's well in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also in range. Can't attack this turn, so move to there and move to there. Let it bang its head against the wall, and then we'll shoot with the bow. 2 shots. Hitting on 6s, but she's accurate, hitting on 5s. No and no. Let's do it. Let's go for the kill. We're going to pounce. 1, 2. No, let's not. Let's get in with the spear. So 2 spears hitting on 5s. Both hit. First wound. Giant tongue. -2 toughness. Perfect. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not enough. We do not wound it. Second hit. In its delicate inverted knee. Also doesn't hit. Let's do the pounce. 1, 2, 3. So we get 5 attacks with +1 accuracy. So normally 7s, 6s. Evasion is 5, 4, 3 because it's in the rear. All of them. So it's 5 hits. Tiny hands. Grasping tiny hands, make rude gestures at the start and gaining insanity. Spend room to regain to attack. Okay. Do we wound? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, we do. So it's not a failure, it is a wound. That's its last wound. We have 1 dead Antelope. Again, although it was harder work, we spent a lot of survival keeping out of the thing's way, because I think if it had hit us, it would have hurt. But yeah, the Antelope, I think, is a lot easier to bring down. I think it's less dangerous of a threat. So I expect if it does hit you, it's going to really hurt. But it hasn't managed it yet. Not really. Okay. Yeah, so we need to work out XP and so forth. So where are we on that front? What do we get in the way of resources, or should we do it in the next event? You know what? This video is going along anyway. I think we're going to do it in the next event, or in the next episode. So, thanks for watching. Another entertaining fight, I think. I'll just stand over and take a photo or something in terribly bad taste. Click. Yeah, thanks for watching. Do me a favour, hit the thumbs up button on this video if you've enjoyed this episode and this series in general. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Help me take over YouTube 1 subscriber at a time, because 1 + 1 = 2 + 1 = 3 = 4 subscribes grow. Growing. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Bye.